I was there. Watching you run your little feet off. That's pretty good. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Do you have your calculators handy? Yeah? Okay, good. So today, we've been talking about volume. So volume is it's area of the base times the height. Maybe you need a 1/3 if it comes to a point. Okay? Area of the base times the height. Maybe you need a 1/3 if it comes to a point. So today we're talking about surface area. And surface area is if I have my three-dimensional shapes, I want to know just the area. And the way that this works, and this is how I like to think about it, you can see, look, crazy formula. We're going to use that formula. But I don't, again, like to just give you formulas to memorize because I'd rather you just understand what needs to happen and that there's many, many ways to get the answer. So when we're talking about surface area, I want just to know the area of all of the surfaces of the shape. So if you can imagine what the shape looks like, I just need to figure out all the areas and then add them all up. All right? So this is a rectangular prism, okay? And I want to be able to find the surface area. Well, it has two of these square shapes. So if I can figure out the area of this, what do I need to do? Excuse you. So if it has two of these square shapes, what do I need to do to find the area? Yeah, find the area 1 and times it by 2, or just add them together, 2 of them. It also has a front and a back that are the same size. So again, I can find the area of 1, and then what do I need to do? Add another. All right, so there's 2 of them, and then it has a top and a bottom. And so if I can find the area of the top. So this all goes back to our area formulas that we know and love. Now, this is that rectangular prism here, and what I can do is I can actually unfold it and imagine like you cut it open and just lay it flat. And this is what surface area really is. It says, hey, what are the areas of all of these 6 pieces? Add it all together, and that's all we have to do. All right? So this is called a net, and some of the things might be helpful to think about what the net would look like, which we'll do a little bit later. But I have basically in any of these rectangular prisms, there's 3 different sides. And I'm going to go ahead and just use my highlighters. And I'm going to highlight this front. Maybe you want to use color pencils or if you've got highlighters. I have this front face right here. How many of those are there? 2 of them. So to find the surface area, I'm going to use SA for surface area. I have 2 of the green things. So I'm just going to times them by 2, and I just need to find the area of that green rectangle. Well, I know that one edge is 12. What's the other edge of my rectangle? 9. All right, so that's simply 9 times 12, or doubling 108. Good. That's the green shape there, 9 by 12, and there's 2 of them. Let's see, why are there 2 of them? Because there's one on the front and one on the back. And so then I need to find another shape. Here I have my end piece that is, I'm going to color it yellow. All right, it's another rectangle. How many of these yellow ones are there? 2. So I'm going to add another 2 times, because there's 2 of these yellow pieces. And what are the sides of my yellow rectangle? 7 times 9. So if I want the area, I just need to multiply 7 times 9, base times height. And then, what's my third? What's the third rectangle? Where is it? On top and bottom, yeah. So I'm going to use the one on top just because I can color it in. So there's two of these orange shapes, two orange rectangles. And so again, I'm just going to add 2 times my orange stuff. All right, my orange rectangle, what's the length of it? 12, And what's its like width here? 7. 7 matches this 7 right there. So 12 times 7, and that is the orange bit. And there's 2 of those. So all you're doing is finding the area of each color, and there's always 2 of them in a rectangular prism. Will you go ahead and just plug that all in? You can plug it all into your calculator if you want to. It is 510. 510. Now these are area. What should the units be? Centimeters is area. Centimeters squared. Yeah, all we're doing is a length times a width. So 12 centimeters times 9 centimeters would give us centimeters squared. Okay. All right. Here, number 2, we have another lovely little rectangle, rectangular prism. And let's see, I think I see, I don't know, I guess, this sort of top right rectangle. How many of these green ones are there? 2 of them, So I have 2. And what are the edges of that green rectangle? So there's one long edge. What's the long edge? 27, yes. And then what's the height of that green edge? 5 is correct, yeah. That's a little hard to see from the picture because it's so small, but the 5 is definitely the short edge, the 14 is longer, so that's going to be 27 times 5. Okay. Let's see, I have this orange, the very bottom little tiny rectangle there. How many little orange pieces are there? 2, yeah, there's a bottom and a top one. So again, there's 2 of the orange ones. What are my edges on my orange rectangle? 5 and 14, good. So 5 times 14. Those are my orange edges. And then my yellow one is the biggest here. How many yellow rectangles are there? 2, one on top and one on bottom. Alright, so again, there's 2 yellow ones. And what are the edges on my yellow? 27 and 14, yeah, the long 27 and then the middle length of 14, so 27 times 14. And those are my yellow edges. Good. So that surface area is 1166 feet squared. Okay, are you okay with that? Okay. All right. Turn the page. We're going to look at cylinders also. Now, a cylinder, what in everyday life, what shape is this where you see it? It's a can, like a soup can or a pop can. So when we talk about surface area, it has 2 parts to it. It has the top and the bottom, which are what shapes? Circles. All right, and so we know how to find the area of a circle, right? Okay, area of a circle is pi r squared, and so that's right here. You can see the pi r squared right there. That's the area of our circle. And how many of them were there? 2 of them. And that's why we times by 2. Does that make sense to you? Okay. So then the other part of the surface area of the cylinder is what I might call the label. So imagine your can of chicken noodle soup, and it's the label is all the way around the outside. So where does that come from? Well, we have the label, and I can unfold the label, and you can kind of see it opens up, and what shape is it? It's a rectangle. Isn't that interesting? Okay. So that label unfolds, and it becomes a rectangle. Well, let's see. We know the height. Well, that's just the height of our can. All right. So that's the short edge here. But what's the long edge? Like, how do we figure out the long edge of this rectangle shape? What? Almost. You're totally on the right track. How does it wrap around the circle? It's the circumference. Yeah, so it's wrapping around the edge of the circle, and so it unfolds, and the length of this long rectangle matches the circumference of the circle, okay? And that's what you see right here. This 2 pi RH, or 2 pi r, is circumference. circumference. So it's simply the circumference of this circle, and then and then times the height. So the top edge, the length of it is circumference, and then times the height, and that's the area of the rectangle. So this formula is really kind of neat. It comes together pretty easily, but it is a formula that you might as well memorize because it does come up a lot. But again, it's 2 circles. You know the area of a circle, so 2 times the area of a circle, and then circumference times height is pretty easy to think about. So let's give this a try. We want to find the surface area and round to the nearest tenth. So surface area is, we have 2 pi r squared, pi times, what's our radius? 6. So 2 times pi times 6 squared, and then plus 2 pi times the radius, what's our radius? 6. And then what's our height? The height is 21. The height of your can is 21. So again, it's really just a nice formula, real easy to just plug in your radius and your height. And then can you just go ahead and you can type this whole entire thing just like that into your calculator. Yes. Go ahead and plug that in. And what did you get? 1017.9. And this is centimeters squared. All right, 23. What measure is that? Diameter. Diameter. D-I-A-M-E-T-E-R. I don't want diameter. It's 11.5. Our radius is 11.5. All right. So you need to have the radius. How did we get the radius? Divide by 2. Very good. All right. So I want the surface area. So it is 2 times pi times radius squared. So what's our radius? 11.5. So square it. Plus 2 times pi times radius, again, 11.5, times the height. What's the height of our cylinder? 9, yes. And again, this whole thing, you can type in one big long line on your calculator. One big long line. And what did you get? 1,481.3. Good. Meters squared. Again, we're talking about area, and that is meters square units. Square units. Volume is cubic units. Area is square units. Do you have questions for me? No. Okay. Now you're going to see some problems on your Delta Math today that are nets. So they unfold, they're unfolded like this. And all you need to do is figure out the area of each shape and add them all up. Okay? All right, you are good to go.